Are we done with AI? Is this it? Are we at that breaking point in whatever 2026? The AI sloppification of everything, and I feel that we as a society, as humanity, have got to a point where we are starting to really push back against it. For the early days, the first few years of it, it was all very exciting. Everything was new, everything was novel, everything was changing, and it was this development. And we didn't really see slop yet in terms of this mass produced just content, but it was rather exciting, and it was. And I jumped on that bandwagon too. I've made a load of AI stuff throughout the years. Made AI videos, like coding, making coding with AI, and I've done a load of videos like that. I even made some comic-y thing, a few years ago, but it was very difficult, and not like now where you can just push a button and it makes it work. But like even then, it was still kind of push a button and make it work, but like it was push many buttons and try. Anyway, the point being is, there was still novel then. Like it wasn't new, it wasn't overdone. Whereas now, every other day, you get new AI content, just the sloppification of it. And you get now channels on YouTube that are just being ripped off, and legacy channels that have like millions, tens of millions of subscribers getting demonetized because the AI systems think that they are actually AI when they're clearly not AI. And on the other hand, you get complete clones. There's that guitarist who got cloned. There's history channels which are just putting out misinformation that the AIs are making it up. There's like infographic channels that are again making up incorrect biology, just completely lying. And the people making these things, they're probably not even checking it at all. It's probably like AIs the whole way down. It's like they go into an AI agent, say, make me a channel, and the AI does everything, picks the niche, does all the research, picks the channel, comes up with the thumbnails and the titles and the YouTube scripts, and then creates a voice for you, comes up with the visuals. It does it all. Like even YouTube, in the back end of YouTube, it does that for you. You just go into your YouTube and it says, here's a load of ideas with the title, the thumbnail, the topic, the script, the hooks, and everything done for you. You don't even have to think. It just is. YouTube is encouraging you to do this. And I think because of all these businesses have invested so much into AI, billions and billions and like trillions of dollars into this infrastructure of everybody's going to be using AI to do everything all the time, everywhere. And this bubble of tech and money that has been put into it was continuing to advance, and it probably still is. But I think we as humanity are starting to get to the point where we're sick of it. The AI sloppification, it is just shit everywhere. Like, it's not good. And that's the thing about it. It isn't good. There is maybe some elements where you've seen some, like, where you're being deceived and, like, you can be tricked by it. And I had my friend, he was driving and listening to these, like, music playlists, and it was, like, jazz or something. And it wasn't until, like, halfway through these playlists, like, many hours into it, when he realized the whole thing was being AI on Spotify. And he was like, he felt kind of bad, but he was like, I kind of like this music, and I guess there's some level of like being fooled by it, and to some degree, depending on how you're consuming it. But I think there is a foul taste in your mouth now to know, for a lot of us, that we've consumed something that was made by AI. And, I've almost completely 180 flipped. I was quite, liking AI when it was exciting, new, and everything was shiny, and it was just amazing to see what this technology could do. And now we've seen it, and we're now seeing it's just ruining everything else. It's like, it's ruining social media, it's ruining YouTube, it's ruining like the short forms as well. It's just AI slop. It's like people have forgotten how to write, how to do creative writing. Like in colleges, they're just like everybody's using AI for their entire essays to do everything. We're using AI to do coding, and they've fired a load of people. The tech people, they just fired all those people, and now they've had to start to rehire them back this year because they realized that AI slop is not good enough, and so we need the people to come back and check the AI code because it's just not good enough. And so we're going 180, and I think that's good. I think AI is good as a tool. It's good as an accessory, but not when it's the whole package. It's everything. And I think we are starting to have this foul taste in our mouth. Even today, we just came out with this Supergirl thing, used AI to some degree of the process, and people hate it. Hank Green, just like last week, there's this whole thing with Hank Green, and like massive controversy. And what did Hank Green do? He didn't do anything madly wild. He just admitted that he used ChatGPT to help with part of his scripting process, which I'm pretty sure 90% of YouTubers have been doing to some degree. Like, if not more. It's like we all use it. We all like have consumed and used AI so much, but I think we are getting to a point where we're starting to see the negative side effects of it in a creative sense, particularly. And like nobody wants to be involved in like YouTube. Like YouTube is made by the creators, not by like these content farm people who are just trying to make a quick buck by producing slop content and just mass producing like hundreds of videos each month, just outputting like this, which is like creates enough of the technical know-how of like how to do the algorithm and how to write a hook and visual like title and the thumbnail, and they do all that and they get the AI to do it and it does it pretty good that it gets enough people to click, and these videos that are made entirely by AI are getting millions of views. But like what world is that you don't want to be? That's not what we hear on YouTube. We don't want to watch that kind of crap. And like, yes, sure, there is the long tail, like you talk about adoption curves and like the early adopters and then the people in the middle and the mass market and the trail end of it. And yeah, that trail end of it, which is like your grandma and my parents on Facebook who would still watch this and think it's real and wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But like the people who've made YouTube what it is, the younger people in particularly, I know there are lots of great older people on YouTube doing great things as well, but on really what have made YouTube what it is the younger generation, the millennials and the Gen Z and what have you, that have the people, the personalities that have been attached to it. That's why YouTube is so great and the creativity that gets shown. But when everything is pushed towards AI slopification and they can produce so many videos every day that like no human could ever keep up with, even if you got a team of editors and animators and designers and scriptwriters, you still could not produce at the rate that they're doing. And like the way it works is it just has to be good enough for YouTube. It doesn't have to be the best thing ever. If it's good enough, it will get more than the best things ever. And that's the sad reality of it. And so I think there is this like foul taste that we all consume with AI when we experience it. Like now, if I see something, I clearly know that thumbnail is done by AI, I will not click on it. And you work and have worked and continue to work as a thumbnail editor for like channels on YouTube with a lot of millions of subscribers, and I have absolutely used AI to do huge parts of it, even like not the entire thumbnail, but like particularly like the image in the background or whatever it's going to be. And then you change it and edit it and add your own text and whatever. And I used to get these like briefs of like design briefs. And in there would be like example things done by the AIs. And they used to be terrible, but like it was good for inspiration. And then, as Nano Banana, the Google one, got better and better, we could just use that. And I'd just take that image, tweak it a bit, and then send it back to them and what have you. But now, nowadays, I would never do it anymore. I think it just ruins human creativity. I've got to a point where, like, yes, there are parts in Photoshop where it's like you're infilling something or you're outfilling something, where you just want to move this, like there's a plug in the background or these rails or there's something there, I think like that, it's like this menial, boring tasks that are very labor intensive, but it like doesn't really add anything to it. Yeah, use AI. Or, you're just trying to do something similar. But when you're like AI to make the whole thing, I've really gone 180 on it. But last year or the year before, it's like it was so new and novel that it was exciting. It was cool to do that stuff. But nowadays, I've completely switched off it, and I would never click on anything now that I've seen made by an AI thumbnail. And if I see and hear an AI voice, I don't watch it. If I see it in short form, I don't watch it. I immediately dislike. I won't push this, but I'll scroll away from it. I'll click off it. I've really started to have such a distaste for anything that is AI. And yeah, I don't mind it when it's like covering over the cracks somewhere, like you're using it in a bit here and there, like as a tool to help, just like fill in some tiny parts, but not as the main creative force. Like as the main creative force, I think is a ruin in things. And like for AI coding, and that was maybe the one space where there hasn't been such a massive pushback in like AI art. There was always this, even from the inception, but like early days with Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, it was kind of cool, it was exciting, and there was this thing called Comfy UI, and it was technical, it was complicated to learn. I know, because I spent like 200-300 hours spending learning this tool set, and then Nano Banana and stuff came along, and it was so much better and so much easier that you could just prompt it, and you didn't have to do all this technical node-based editing to try and get an image that still was not perfect, and you have to do like 50 variations of it, and then now you could just one prompt it, and it did change the game on that front. But with the coding, there was never there was some pushback here and there, but it was always seen as a tool that was increasing productivity. But then people just stopped learning how to code, people stopped being able to code, the process of coding became deteriorated, and there are still loads of people that have made so many things with AI all the way, and nowadays you can just make apps complete with AI, and they're pretty good. Like, you couldn't tell the difference because they've gotten good enough. But I think we've lost something there, and if everybody forgets how to code, is that good or bad or whatever it is, But like in that front, there was this kind of like element of accepting the code, and like even within that, and like the coders and like the people paying for all these big companies, they were like, you haven't used enough token, like use more tokens, use more AI with your coding, you should be using like, and there was like these crazy billionaires in their podcast being like, if my AI person coders aren't using enough tokens, then I should fire them because they're not using enough AI. And it's like just like crazy that's how the perception of it was. But I think we're starting to realize it's not as great as it should be. Though I do think, in areas of science and research, in particular, like looking for new drugs or discovering cancers, early detection of cancers and things like that, and where it can help, with the human resources, the human technicians or the human people who are analyzing these things and come up with the discoveries of like, if you like, the earlier you find cancer, the much better for your survival rates. And if we can use AI to help with that, and like, because nowadays, it has to be done all manually by humans looking through it, and if AI can help, highlight areas that could be there, and you want to make sure it's still done with and verified by humans and multiple humans, but like if they can just help process huge amounts of the images, make it easier for them, and earlier catching of these things, like the better we have for everybody, and the easier the treatments are, and all of that, like the whole way through it. And so like there are still great uses for AI out there, but I think on a creativity front, on YouTube and in the coding, in the writing space, it's like nobody likes and when they hear something AI, and like you can see in the comments, like nowadays if you go on even a short form video and like somebody's just made a whole thing off an AI script, and like people just call it out nowadays, or you see an advert which is completely done by AI, and like last year there was all these really cool like complex images and videos being made by, and people are still wondering, and like people were, the business were hiring these people to craft these complex adverts, but nowadays we're just calling out the AI bullshit. And so I think it gives, with that, the adoption of humans, the benefit of that. Like people are seeking out more flawed creations, and where it's clearly created by human, and where AI hasn't touched anything. And there is this like seeking out of something that is non-AI, because we are becoming sick of it. And I hope this early stage that we're in now with their rejection of the AI everything starts to pop this stupid AI bubble, which has just exploded, and more money is being put into it than anything in history before, for whatever reason, because they think AGI is going to just solve all problems in the world. And like, yes, if AGI came along and supercomputers came along and, quantum computing, and we got fusion from that, it would change the world. Like there were huge advancements that could take place from AI, may be able to help us, and it probably will help us, and those things will be great when they happen. But like, it's like these people are betting the entirety of humanity on the idea that AI will solve everything for us in the future. But like what we're having now, and what is happening, is people are creating so much AI slop everywhere, like in every sort of the sense of the media, and that is bad for everywhere. Like there's no good thing about that. Like, there is nothing good about it anywhere now at any point of time. We've now seen it play out. Like, before we were like questioning it, but now we know it's bad. We know it's bad, and we know we don't like it. And yet the companies are still shoving it down our throats, always, everywhere, because they've invested so much into it that they want us to use it to make this investment worth it, so they can go back to their shareholders and be like, look, everybody's using AI, happy days, pump more money into it, and so everything continues to spiral. But if we reject it and stop using it, then these bubbles will pop. And, it's not to say that we should remove AI completely. It should be still used in the places where it's going to be beneficial. But definitely in terms of content, it should be removed. I think content that is made on YouTube or wherever should be demonetized. I don't think you should be able to monetize anything which is used AI in a significant way for the creation. That's what my take on it now is. Like, if you used AI in a significant way for your thumbnail, for your writing your script, for your editing, for creating the images and the graphics in your content, it should not be able to be monetized on YouTube. And I think we should have detection things involved in it, where there's like watermarks in the text, in the voiceovers, in the script writing, even the way it's writing, and in the and they are coming out with new ones of doing this. We already have it in the images, in the videos, in the graphics, and we should have it in the writing stuff as well, and just better AI detection where this is suspicious. And like, yeah, if you're a big channel like the In a Nutshell, Kirkazette, or whatever it's called, yet they are like got however tens of millions of subscribers, massive channel. Of course, their thing shouldn't be flagged as AI, and they should get a complete benefit of the doubt and have a person on YouTube that would verify it, and an actual genuine person be like, no, this channel has used. And because not only that, they show you that they have animated it themselves. They have all the proof. So it's not like there's any benefit of the doubt, but the AI systems on there have flagged it. And it's like, yeah, if it's such a massive channel and all these great channels, they should definitely not be flagged. And the legacy animators out there obviously should get a pass, because they're clearly still doing and maybe there will be some foul players in there, and like, if it's starting to become increasingly suspicious, you probably start to be like, hey, something on that, give them a slap in the wrist then. But for smaller creators who are animators, it is very hard now, because everything they're going to be flagged as AI. And so you don't want to discourage like smaller animators to not do AI stuff. And so I think we have to, not to do animated stuff, but rather to discourage anything to do with AI as creative work. So yeah, watermarks all over the graphics, all over the text, the speech of it, the audio, and even some way that you can tell if somebody is reading off an AI script. And that's a harder one to do, but like, to some degree, if somebody was reading off a purely AI script, that would also get flagged. And that's probably the hardest one. But like, yeah, we should just stop allowing people who use AI to create content to be monetized. And I think that would then start to discourage like AI slopification of the channel, the YouTube and the other platforms, because if there's no money in it, why would people do it? And it's like, it's fine to do it as a meme, as the fun thing, like I made SpongeBob look like it's in Star Wars or whatever, right? Yeah, fine, right? That is a funny thing to do. That's fine, but it shouldn't be monetized. That's not something that we should be paying people for, rather than like human creativity. And that's what I'm getting at. So yeah, absolutely, should we demonetize and find better ways to flag it, and like have better systems of doing it, and like YouTube and that should be trying to really solve this, to stop this influx of AI channels. And I know they've deleted loads of people and they have been starting to flag it, but like, it's honestly not good enough, right? That, because there's, particularly on the short form side of it, there's so much slop, and even in this long form there is still, and they're monetized. These channels are putting out so much content, they're getting loads of subscribers, and they are monetizing themselves and making a load of money. And whatever reason, because they know how to play the algorithm, they get in there, they make enough money for themselves, and that should not be allowed. And like, there's a tiny little thing with saying this is being made by AI in the tiny corner, but that doesn't stop it. If that happens, it should be like immediate demonetization of your your content. I just do not think we should allow people to monetize when they are being used in AI. It's not good for the platforms, and it just ruins the creative spirit of humanity, which is like such an important part within humans, is like to be creative. As a children, what do we love to do? We love to draw, we love to color, we love playing with Lego and making stuff. We love making music and playing music. We love creating. And like as adults, the people, what are the most desired roles in society? The ones that you get to be creative, right? You get to be like a movie star, a musician, a YouTuber. Like these are the creative roles in society, and we love and we've idolized them because they are fun and they are exciting. And even within all of that, why would we want to allow AI to do the things that is what is the most desirable part about being human? The thing that makes us different. We're not machines. We're not robots just sitting in a factory producing work then to be consumed like in the sloppification of it. And that is just very bad and sad to think of. That's what it is becoming, that we go to work, we work in our factory or your box in an office, you clock type to 9 to 5, you come home and you consume AI slop. For what? It's just what a sad existence that would be. So pathetic that that's what the businesses want us to become or whatever. And even YouTube is encouraging. It needs to completely do a U-turn on allowing any sort of AI for anything. Like, I would even say AI for ideas is starting to become bad. Like, I'm just completely gone off it. Which is, and I have used AI to come up with AI ideas. Like, I have done it. Of course I'm guilty of it because we were all doing it. But I think just now it's just become so easy and it's just become so foul that I've become disgusted by it. And I just do not like it anymore. And so I try not to use any AI ever really in the creative part of it. Again, I think there are some beneficial tools like within Photoshop, which are fine, whatever. And it's helpful, and there are some other useful AI tools out there. I'm not saying every single essence of AI is bad, but like just the complete creative control and AI slopification is just terrible for humanity, and we should stop it. Anyway, I've been ranting on this too long. I'm just starting to repeat myself here. So I will leave it at that. I wish you the best of luck. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.